What's up? Welcome to the Vegas Benchwarmer channel. This is the Benchwarmer podcast. My name is Eric. He hate me 702, and as always, we got the man, the myth, the legend,
Ruby Rose.
That is the random name that you just pulled out of nowhere.
It literally came out of nowhere.
All right, we got a full pack show today, guys. We're breaking down, or we're talking about one of the biggest shockers maybe in MMA history. This might go with the if we're talking about upsets, Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. We're talking, of course, about the Gaethje upset over Topuria. We're also going to get into the Ciryl Gane controversy. Were those elbows highly illegal? Should Alex Pereira be bitching about it? And did that matter because he still got fucking stopped? We're going to switch over to some WWE with the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, which Jeremy has admitted he has not watched much of it, but he does know what's going on. And then we're going to talk about a little controversy that happened, a little drama between Conor McGregor and Crawford. But first, we're going to start off with Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. Any father out there watching this in the comments?
Y'all can tell me Happy Father's Day because I'll be your daddy.
Okay, just let y'all know, Jeremy is on one today. This is going to be fun. We're going to get a lot of off-topic conversations. This is going to be great. All right, so let's start with the first thing. Let's start with it right now. We'll just get it in. We were wrong. Were we not?
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Me and you were both wrong. We both wanted Gaethje to win, but we predicted Ilia was going to beat his ass. And I've seen all the stuff.
That's because Gaethje hasn't looked good in his last several fights.
100%. He didn't look great against Patty. You know,
he hasn't looked good. He had no business winning this fight.
I don't know about that.
Especially against Ilia.
So are you saying from the opening bell, if Ilia would have came out top of his game with the right game plan, he has no business beating his ass?
Gaethje wouldn't have won.
Okay.
If Ilia would have been focused and on the top of his game, Justin wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100% on that. I don't understand Ilia's game plan. I don't know if he thought what a lot of people thought and that Gaethje was just done after that Patty Pimblett fight. I think he just thought he was done and was going to be able to piece up on Gaethje. And that's how he came out. He came out not blocking.
But wasn't this the fight where he basically had Gaethje finished, but he didn't finish it?
So yes and no.
He had Gaethje on the mat and then he just fell on top of him.
No. So Gaethje took like 35 body shots. Sean O'Malley says 35. That's probably an exaggeration. But he dropped him. Topuria dropped him with a liver shot, right? Got on top of him and started pounding on him, right? The problem is Gaethje had already said, I was not giving up. He's like, I was not worried about him hitting me on the ground. He's like, I was getting up. I would have gotten up. He's like, I 100% would have gotten up, went to the stand-up. He's like, if he would have let me up or he didn't follow me to the ground, I would have immediately taken him to the ground and pulled guard. So Gaethje was really comfortable in that guard position. And he understood that he could block his punches and needed to take some rest. Because it wasn't a headshot. It was a liver shot. So he needed to catch his breath. What ended up happening was, I think Topuria felt that and went for submissions. He immediately tried to transition to an armbar. Then he tried to transition to a triangle. And in that whole exchange, in the third round or that second round, Ilia basically blew his load. And Justin said he has more submission wins than he has knockout wins. So it makes sense when everybody looks at me and sees me as a knockout artist and a stand-up guy that I don't have good jiu-jitsu or stuff like that. But the reason why I don't wrestle and I don't go to the ground is because it's fucking tiring. He's like, standing up and getting punched is not as tiring as wrestling around on the ground. So once they got to like 5-8 seconds left, that's when Topuria collapsed on him and just let the time run out. Do you see what I'm saying? But he had him. He tried an armbar, then he tried a fucking triangle. So I think the fight was over in the first round, buddy.
I don't know. I was just shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked when Ilia believed too much that he was going to be able to walk through Gaethje and knock him out. I don't understand why. Because Gaethje, it's not that he hits you hard immediately. He hits you in the same fucking spots. And everybody that fights him says that. It's the wear down effect. But if you look at all of the fighters he's had, they all have fucked up faces. Even Max had redness on his face when he fought him. So it's one of those things where Topuria just came out. He wasn't fading and just walked straight in and thought he was going to and tried to knock him out in the first 2 minutes. Justin pieced him up, used his work. Second round came. Topuria went at him. Basically almost finished him. Third round came. Topuria was tired. And Justin just went to work. And after the third round, Topuria couldn't see.
Crazy.
That was one.
I did not expect that.
That was one of the most shocking. Okay, that was one of the most shocking upsets in history of any combat sport. Like I don't think. And okay, another thing. Can we talk about the movie aspect of this shit? So this would have been first. I love the way it looked on the White House. I thought it looked fucking awesome. Oh. I thought it looked really cool to see the White House in the background. I thought it looked really, really cool for them to walk to the White House. And then they had like 85,000 people sitting away from it, watching it, so you could hear the roar and everything. So I thought that was really fucking cool. But let's just talk about the fucking underdog movie aspect, the Rocky Balboa story, the all of these. I can't remember the damn wrestling movie I used to watch all the time that had it. But all of these cool ass things. Justin Gaethje was basically not supposed to win this. He was going against an unstoppable force, somebody that was supposed to knock him the fuck out. They were literally fighting. It was an American versus a Spaniard fighting on UFC Freedom 250 on the White House lawn, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States, right? All of this great stuff. You got Army veterans or war veterans, high military ranking, walking these fellows out. He is walking into hell with an unbeatable force, and he almost goes down. He's got something in him makes those liver shots, and then he just comes back and ba 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 ba, and then he gets his hand raised. Like if somebody wrote a movie of this, this is like the fucking Warrior. This is such a. I have an issue with you have an issue with the Topuria fight,
or the whole event.
Because they wanted the way. Yes, we all wanted the American to win, but Topuria had a horrible game plan. That's the issue. Topuria. We said that in the beginning. Topuria did not fight the way he should have fought, right, Jeremy?
I mean, I think 90% of UFC fighters live in the U.S. anyway.
Yeah, they do. That's true. But yeah, so I thought the win. Shout out Gaethje. What kind of damage did you initially think was wrong with Topuria? Like when you see the face difference.
I don't know.
That's gonna be one of those pictures that just will never go away. Kind of like the Johan Jajewski.
They're saying, the ex-streets are saying that Gaethje kept poking him in the eye.
No, you know what? Dude, this is what
I don't know. I didn't watch the full fight, so I have no idea.
So there was never a moment where he got warned for poking him. So all you got to do is watch 2 combinations in the 3rd and 4th round. That's all you got to do. Also, the reason why his eyes were so fucked up is because Gaethje's strategy was outstanding. He would literally throw a jab. He has that little flick jab. So he'd flick a jab out, grab Topuria's head in the 1st round, pull him in, and then uppercut the fuck out of him. And Topuria was eating that shit because he wasn't fading or doing anything. Like, just go rewatch the highlights of that fight. Rewatch the highlights of the 1st round. The very 1st round, Gaethje won that fight, won the round. That's what I'm saying. In the first round, you knew Topuria was in trouble because he was just walking into his punches. You can't take that many significant strikes from a fighter like Justin Gaethje that literally thinks he's going to die in the ring and be okay. So I thought that was a great fight. Who would you do? Would you like to see Justin Gaethje retire, or what would you like to see him do now?
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's the only fight he's performed decent at in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what his next fight looks like. If his next fight is trash, then it should just go home and sit on the couch.
Let's just get this out the way. He's definitely getting his ass whooped in his next fight, okay? Again, that was a movie-esque ending. He should have walked off the stage. He even said it when they were interviewing him in the White House. He's like, I don't know if he caught himself saying, I don't know if I'm going to retire or not. But he should have just laid his gloves down. That was the fitting ending for him. The 4th longest journey to get to the UFC champion from his debut. A fitting ending. From any point on, he gets his ass whooped. If he fights Topuria fucks him up 9 times out of 10. This is the one time. If he fights Carmen or the other guy that's in there, he fucks him up. I don't even know if he fights Patty if he gets a rematch. Now, the rumor that people are starting, Twitter feud, fuck X, Twitter feud, Twitter people, they're saying that, and Conor has stoked this flame, that the winner of Max, Conor, should get the title shot.
I mean, Conor should probably focus on all his lawsuits first.
If Conor gets a title shot after being away for 5 years and losing his last 2 fights,
I mean, Conor may end up in jail, so he may not get a fight.
He's going to fight in the next 2 weeks.
His next fight may be in prison with Bubba.
Ain't nobody fighting Conor in prison. Ain't nobody fucking with Conor in prison. Conor would literally be like a mafia boss in prison. Everybody loves Conor.
I don't think he is who everybody thinks he is off camera.
No, he's an asshole off camera. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, because he can put on such a show PR-wise, he has the thing where he can talk the shit, but he can also back it up. So anybody in prison that's going to go one-on-one with him, 9 times out of 10, unless they shank him, they're getting their fucking ass whooped. So again, you have somebody that people like, they have a respect for, and they know this motherfucker's crazy. He's fought an old man. He's thrown a dolly at a bus. So I think
about women when he shouldn't have.
100%. But I think
I don't think people in prison really give a shit, and they don't fight fair.
Of course they don't fight fair, but this isn't the prison of the fucking 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Motherfucker, most people that run prisons are these YNs and these young.
But it is Ireland.
That's what yeah. So, that's different. If it was America, never mind. If it was America, it might be a little different. I have seen Roadhouse.
Not the U.S.
Roadhouse is good. Not really. Roadhouse sucked. I did not watch the second one if there was a second one. Roadhouse 1 was not good at all.
It's not the U.S. It's Ireland.
That's right. It's Ireland. My bad.
It's a little different. You ever watch those lockup shows?
I love those shows. I love those lockup shows from different
Bro,
places.
some of them motherfuckers get treated better than me. And some of those places, I'll go to prison.
Yeah, especially like when you go to Sweden or the Norway.
Like, you see, fuck, their accommodations are awesome. Yeah. The food is fucking amazing. Like, sign me up.
Yeah, and then there's some of the prisons. There's some of the prisons, like, when you go to Indonesia or fucking Thailand, where there.
No, I don't want to go to those prisons.
800 people per.
I'm not trying to go to those prisons. That's not the ones I'm talking about.
All right.
No thanks.
We're gonna move on to the next major story that came out of the UFC Freedom 2.
Alex should retire and disappear and never be seen from ever again. That shit was fucking embarrassing. What the fuck was that?
Go ahead. I'm listening. You got it.
Like, are you fucking serious? Ciryl Gane. What the fuck? One, Alex looked out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking you got a glass jaw in the fight. Where you got fucked up. Like, I probably could have hopped in that fucking ring and beat you. How bad you look. Come on.
Oh. I agree. Alex looked bad. I don't think that was due to him being out of shape. I think what we saw in back-to-back co-main events or main events, whatever the fuck you want to call them, was the exact same thing that happened to both of the hype trains. Both of them were overly confident. Both of them thought that they were going to whoop the shit out of these guys because what if other competitors did to them? And both of them got humbled very, very fastly. I think the problem with Alex Pereira was he didn't do what John Jones did. John Jones took years to get to heavyweight from light heavyweight so he could adapt to the physicality, so he could be a natural heavyweight and feel like he could take those punches. He was sparring and taking punches from natural heavyweight. Alex Pereira just put on fucking pounds and ate. That's all he did.
He just went to Applebee's and fucking
exactly.
And
so he all he did was eat, and when he stopped eating, and then he got higher, and that's why. And Ciryl Gane is a fast ass fucking heavyweight. So Ciryl, he could not keep up with Ciryl Gane's foot movement because again he was probably slow and sluggish because he put on all these pounds, and then he was not ready for the power. He was not ready for the power at all for heavyweights. Because every time Ciryl Gane touched this motherfucker, he looked like he was about to go out. So I don't know what happens from here. He should probably go back down to light heavyweight. I don't know what happens here. But let's talk about the elbows. Did you see the elbows to the back of the head and the punches?
I didn't see the elbows. But at this point, the way Alex looked, it didn't fucking matter.
Okay,
he was going to get beat with or without the elbows. Like, Ciryl Gane probably could have just stood up and just stared at him and
that was not on my bingo card. That Ciryl Gane was going to make Alex Pereira look elementary.
Like, you have to think the last time Ciryl Gane fought was in 2024.
Yeah,
December 7th, 2024.
Yeah, where he poked Aspinall in the eye.
No. Well,
yeah, he has a
that
fight
was
after
2025. That was no contest.
Yeah. He poked Aspinall in the eye in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's lost to Francis. He lost to John Jones. And both of them immediately wrestled Ciryl Gane. But Alex Pereira said, I'm going to stand on my feet with this motherfucker. And got knocked out. So the controversy comes from when Alex Pereira gets wobbled and hurt with a jab or a cross, right? And he goes to the ground. He goes for a double leg. And as he's sitting there, Ciryl Gane is just going to town. Now, the ruling was broken down somewhere along the back of your head. There's like this little area where you can't hit. But as long as you're basically touching the ear, you can hit that part.
It's the nape of the neck and then up.
Yeah.
Basically, It looks like a penis.
Exactly. There you go. So there was probably, somebody broke it down, out of like the 20 shots that he landed, 11 of them were probably bad. But in that moment, you're not going to stop that fight because the back of the head blows unless it's very egregious to the back part. It was happening so fast, and some of them were on the ear. I understand that. But Alex Pereira bitched about it afterwards. So
of course, when you got embarrassed in a fight,
he sent out pictures showing the knots on the back of his head. He went on a podcast saying he had talked to Herb Dean before the fight, telling him to watch those elbows in the back of the head, and they still didn't. Yo, Alex needs to shut up and fight Hogan. He needs to defend his honor. That would be a great fight, though. That would be an amazing fight. Josh versus Alex. I like that. I'm with you on that fight. That would be a very, very good fight. But do you think that, first of all, in the chat, let me know if you guys think the elbows were to the back of the head. I'm going to say some of them were to the back of the head. But I'm going to say when you're in a combat sport and you get rocked and you grab somebody's leg like that, you're leaving your head wide open, and some of those punches are going to do there. Do you think points should have been deducted? Do you think he should have stopped the point? See, the problem with him stopping it there is Alex Pereira got hurt with a legal blow. So if you stop it there, take a point away for illegal blows, you're giving Alex Pereira time to recover. You see what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
Sorry, I was reading an article. Dana White said Pereira is not a whiner, and he backs the outrage at Herb Dean.
Of course he does, because Dana White is on Pereira's side because he's a cash cow for him. He wanted him to get that third title. They didn't want Ciryl Gane to fucking win. The last time they wanted Ciryl Gane to win a fight was when he was fighting Francis. Ciryl Gane they have not wanted him to win. Nope, everything was good to me. Okay, see, there you go. So he thinks they're good. I mean, I'm not sure. All I know is that if you look as bad, like Jeremy said, if you look as bad as what he did before that happened, dude, you just got to take it up with an L. You can't lose a fight and then start bitching after you. And this is a guy that has no problem when people are getting knocked out to make fun of them. Like we saw what he did to Jamel Hill. We saw what he did. I think it's a bad look for him. I definitely think there's going to be a rematch. If Tom Aspinall doesn't fight Ciryl Gane, I think there's going to be a rematch. But I like his. Alex Pereira should fight Hop. Yep, I think that would be a great build-up. A very, very great build-up. All right. So we're going to switch for a second. Enough with the...
I mean, he may have gotten hit in the back of the head twice.
There might have been a couple. Like I'm saying, there might have been a couple.
I just watched it. It's literally like a 5-second video.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But I mean, the reason why you're in that position is because you got dropped. All right, so let's switch. You got anything else to say on this topic, Jeremy, before we switch to the WWE?
Go ahead and retire, Alex.
He's made enough money. Remember, he just came out of nowhere to knock people out. I honestly think he should go back to light heavyweight, fight Josh Hopkins, but he's not going to be a title contender at the heavyweight division. There's no way he's getting past Tom Aspinall. I mean, you could have John Jones come out to fight for him now. Imagine if John Jones fought Alex Pereira. That would have been even worse. Because that was supposed to be the fight at Freedom, but Dana basically said you can't trust John Jones. He wasn't putting him on that card.
Yeah.
All right. King of the Ring finals.
I didn't watch the matches, but I seen Jey Uso won one of them. I don't know who else. And then
Obi.
Was it Liv?
Yep. So Obi won Oba Femi won on Monday. He beat Dirty Dom in the semifinals. And then Iyo Sky beat Raquel in the semifinals.
And then Liv Morgan beat Charlotte.
Liv Morgan beat Charlotte due to Charlotte had a match with Roxy on Monday Night Raw. Roxy kind of went after Charlotte's knee, and then Jade Cargill and them beat the shit out of Charlotte on SmackDown before the match and fucked up her knee. And then Liv Morgan took off on her knee. So Liv won, and then Jay beat Javon Evans. So
I think they You want Jey to beat Oba?
Huh?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Jey is going to beat Oba.
That's a far cry.
No, Jay's going to beat Oba because Brock's going to come out. Both of these, trust me, I would love to, because there's two different storylines that are happening in.
I would have rather had Javon Evans.
Technically, there's 3 different storylines happening in this one match. So, Obi, of course, the ruler needs his crown. But
there's like 7,000 because Jay's in everybody's fucking story.
Yeah, okay. So, Obi has already said after he won the semifinals that he thought Brock was going to show up here. And he's waiting for Brock to show up next week to cause him the match. And he's like, I don't give a fuck if it's Brock or whoever it is. I'm beating everybody and I'm taking the throne. So you have that storyline. You have the Jey Uso storyline where he's being treated more as an equal with Roman in the bloodline right now. And he wants to go after Cody. But then you have the Cody and Sami Zayn storyline where Cody was a special guest referee for Gunther, caused Gunther the championship match. And now basically there's probably going to be a 3-way at the Night of Champions with Gunther, Sammy, and Cody. So Sammy and Jey, due to the backstage thing that they had, Sammy and Jey could be fighting instead of Cody, depending on what they want to do with Sammy. So there's a couple different storylines that are going into that one. My thought process is Femi is dominant over Jey. We know that. The only way Jey can win is if Oba or Roman or the bloodline help him out. Somehow, somebody's going to come to help out Jey.
It's going to be
if not. And the reason why I think that's going to happen is because I definitely think we're getting Obi and Brock at SummerSlam. But I think we're going to get a build like last time. So this is the winner of this
SummerSlam. Because isn't SummerSlam in Minnesota?
I think so. Yes, it is. So the winner of this fight is going to get yeah, exactly. So that's why I think they're building up. The only problem is that's an early build up for SummerSlam. No, it's not it's not. Never mind. It works out perfectly. So that's what I think ends up happening. I think Jey ends up winning. He ends up fighting Cody or Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. I don't think they're going to run back the Jey and Gunther thing again. So we'll see what happens there. Now on the woman's side,
Gunther is so boring to watch.
Yeah, he is. But you know what? We'll get into that in a second. Okay. So on the woman's side of the bracket, we had oh my goodness, that's the wrong one. 2026. Why do you guys make this so different? So we have Iyo Sky versus Liv Morgan. So I have some issues with this bracketing altogether. Oh, that was somebody else's thing. I don't understand why Liv is here. I don't get it. So Liv beat Becky, Bliss, and Green in a 4-way. You had Flair beat Valkyrie, Cargill, and Sol Ruka. You had Iyo beat Perez, all them other people. You had Raquel Rodriguez beat both of them. Okay, no big deal. I thought they were setting up to Liv and Raquel. Do you see what I'm saying? Remember, we talked about that at the beginning. That's what I thought they were setting up. But they didn't. So now I'm kind of pissed because if Liv wins, are we going to have Rhea and Liv again?
Of course.
At SummerSlam?
That's the only storyline they know how to run.
Are both of them going to be... Oh, I agree with you. I hate the fucking bodysuits. I do not like the Saudi events at all. I'm 100% in agreement with you when it comes to that. But are we going to do that again? And if we do that, is it going to be a title for title match? Are they trying to put Rhea on Raw and SmackDown?
Well, that's the only story they know how to do with Liv and Rhea is those two.
Or we have another interference and Stephanie Valkyra comes in.
I don't know. I'm tired of Liv. I'm tired of Rhea.
So I think they absolutely fucked up with the women's side of the tournament. The men's side of the tournament, once they put Oba Femi in it, we knew where it was going. The other side was good because there was a lot of people that you could have. But I think they really fucked up with the women's side of the tournament.
They always fucked up the women's.
Yeah. I think they used, I mean, I would have, if you're not going to do Rodriguez and Liv, why the fuck do you have Liv in the tournament? You have multiple people that you could have given a push to. You could have had Roxanne be on Liv's side. You're already giving Sol Ruka a push, so she doesn't need one. You could have got Valkyrie back in the more positive side, even though I don't like her, but she was the inaugural Intercontinental Champion. You could have gotten Bailey back up to where she needs to be. I don't give a fuck about Lash Legend and James and Gula, whoever the fuck they are. But we could have, there's so many different people they could have put this through. And after what you've done with Liv, with Travel, and all this other shit, starting to get fucking annoying, okay? I hate having to agree with Jeremy, okay? But WWE,
I love watching you
fucking do this. They do this all the time,
come around to reality.
They do this all the time. They did it with Becky. They did it with fucking Liv. The only person I haven't joined you on is fucking Rhea. Everybody else, after slowly coming around, and I loved Liv in the beginning. Thought it was so cool. But I think you're holding down multiple talented wrestlers. That it could have been, y'all could have went around with the Roxanne Perez and Liv storyline. Where we saw in the beginning where she didn't trust her and they were kind of y'all could have done that, but no, we're gonna oh my god.
I honestly think that their writers for the women don't care about women. The majority of the writers are all men.
So I don't even think that has anything to do with that. I think they just suck at fucking storylines.
Well, you also have to look who they are. They're all old school WWE wrestlers.
True. But also, I think the issue with the women, and that, you know what? You're 100% right. Because most of them are the same. Like, even though they look different, right? Even though they're different races, ethnic groups, and all of this stuff, they all act the same. You have Nia Jax acting no different than a smaller version in the ring. You have bigger people, Raquel Rodriguez, that should look like a dominant force, fighting Iyo Sky. Instead of her traditional black, she's wearing fucking neon green and blue. Who gives a fuck? You have all of them in like a cookie cutter mode.
Hey, Alex, I'm not starting to hate. I haven't liked her for a long time. So
who?
Liv.
Oh, so you're it just makes no sense. That would be good. Iyo versus Liv rematch at SummerSlam to give Iyo the title. She's not becoming a mainstream superstar.
Her character's annoying. I don't like her.
Like I used to love Liv. I thought she was even back in the day when she was with the fucking Ruby.
I might like her if they put her in decent storyline.
Yeah, when she was with Ruby and them, I liked her then. I thought she was really cool. I thought it was a great storyline. I liked her with the Dom buildup. I've been on board with Liv for a while. The problem that you have is WWE does this to everybody. We saw with Roman where everybody started to hate Roman, and then they turned him to the bloodline. We've seen this multiple times. They've done this with Becky Lynch. They pick one person and they push it down the throat. First of all, her song fucking sucks. So, I mean, it's not that we're starting to hate.
Did they Def Rebel her song?
Huh?
Did they Def Rebel her song?
So is The Miz. But The Miz isn't a major superstar. Like, just because you're doing movies that WWE has helped producing doesn't mean you're a major star. Talk shows, yeah, outside events, they're all doing that. But 90% of the roster does that. Jey Uso's doing outside events. He's on fucking commercials like crazy. Yes, Jey Uso's a damn superstar. Liv is a superstar, don't get me wrong. But we're not going to act like she's a crossover thing. If you're not a wrestling fan, you have no fucking clue who Liv Morgan is. So she was in the Kill Room. She's in Bad Lieutenant in Tokyo. So I think she's been in 2 movies right now. Bad Lieutenant and Kill Room.
Is it bad that I haven't heard of these movies?
Never heard of them either. The Kill Room has Samuel L. Jackson in it and Uma Thurman. And it got a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. The place that has the most bots in the world.
Oh, I may have heard of Kill Room.
So yeah, I'm not starting to hate. No, I'm starting to dislike the storylines they put her in. I'm starting to dislike how they're putting her ahead, pushing her so high when she already has a championship, which they could have used to build other storylines. And I'm starting to hate the way that she's becoming the cookie cutter mold that they do with every superstar. There's not going to be much difference between her and when they were using Charlotte Flair consistently.
It's not even like Eric will tell you, I haven't liked her for a long time.
He hasn't. Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily her that I don't like. It's just the storylines fucking suck.
They do.
She's portrayed as this fucking pretentious little fucking bitch that is just annoying as fuck. She's a let me talk to your fucking manager fucking person.
It's not even also the thing that's starting to irritate me is she is a smart person, but they don't make her seem smart because she keeps getting caught interfering.
The booking sucks.
Exactly. So we're not hating on Liv. We're hating on the way they're booking her and the way they're turning her into the cookie cutter woman that they want her to be, just like they're turning everybody else into that. But again, you may argue, but if you look at Charlotte Flair's run from a couple years ago and look at Liv Morgan's run now, they're not much different. It's almost like the same exact fucking thing, except Liv Morgan has a stable that she can boss around. Probably the same shit as Sasha Banks when she had Team Bad. By the way, Sasha Banks should have come back to WWE. You don't think so?
I haven't seen her in a while.
She's at AEW or doing a whole bunch of for one point in time, she held like every women's title in AEW.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything about her in a long time.
Yeah. I haven't either. But I do agree with him. Iyo wins. She's not going to challenge Rhea. She could definitely challenge Liv at SummerSlam. Because they're not going to end the King and the Queen.
If Iyo wins, I think if WWE is smart, they turn that storyline on its head. And because, Rhea's storyline is she turns on everybody.
Yeah.
Out of jealousy.
Yeah.
So if you have Iyo win the belt, then why wouldn't you not run with that storyline and have Rhea turn on Iyo?
I would love that storyline right there. Roxy and Liv. I would love for Roxy to go out on her own and fight Liv.
Yeah, but are they gonna book Roxanne? Or are they gonna do shit booking like they did with Jade Cargill?
That's true. That's another. Or fucking Tiffany Stratton.
I don't give a fuck about Tiffany Stratton.
Where the fuck is she at now?
Who gives a fuck?
How the fuck is she not in the Queen of the Ring tournament?
Because she's stupid. She was in it, but she lost.
What'd she do to piss you off?
Because she's fucking horrible.
No, she wasn't in it. What'd she do to piss you off?
She's fucking annoying when she was running with Nia Jax.
Oh, got you.
And then what was it? WrestleMania, she had the fucking Barbie boxes.
That's right. I have a question before we get off the topic of wrestling. I have a question. I was watching some old school WWE, right? I talk about this all the time. I talk about the way that moves are done in the ring that make no fucking sense that people hop up from, right? I talk about this all the time. But when I was watching the Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair match, I absolutely loved it because of the way that Liv attacked that fucking knee. Later on, you saw Gunther going for something. You've seen it with Roman Reigns recently, where he faced Jacob Fatu and he disabled that arm. Why don't we have more? Why is everybody trying to do these big spot moves? And why don't we have more technical wrestlers that just target certain opponents? Like, if you're fighting Oba Femi, Dom, why are you not trying to take out his fucking knees? Like, why does it seem like the bigger, the further, I don't want to say further, it seems like we're looking for big spots, and it's not, the match doesn't make sense. Like, you're fighting Oba Femi. All three of them were fighting Oba Femi. Why did nobody try to go after his knee? Why didn't we see his shoulder tap?
The writers are fucking terrible.
To the back of the knee. But remember, back when we were kids, you fought a big man or a powerful man. What did you do?
The writers are fucking big nose.
How many times did we see Bret Hart wrap the figure four on the outside of the ring post? How many times did we see that shit? How many times did we see them go after somebody's knee or arm and take a? We've
seen that a lot, but you also got to remember the writers now are the people that were wrestling back when Bret Hart was doing that.
So I just don't.
They're about 632 fucking years old.
But then they should be doing this shit. They should be the ones writing this, because we need everybody to jump off the fucking top rope. We need everybody to. What the fuck is Raquel Rodriguez doing? Iyo Sky and Raquel was the perfect example. In the 80s and 90s, you would have the smaller guy use their speed, quickness, and their tools. She is the genius of the Sky, but why did you not take out those knees? And why is Raquel not fighting like a fucking giant when you're fighting Iyo Sky? Why are we trying to do cool-ass moves because I'm fucking big? Why are we always diving outside the fucking ropes to get caught and get body slammed on a fucking table? I want to go back to FTR, whatever that fucking tag team name. No flips, no tricks, just fucking moves.
Look, the WWE's best writer is in Mexico working with AAA.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the funny part is, it's The Undertaker.
Yeah, I know. Because he understands psychology of ring. That's what I was trying to go for. There's no psychology or storytelling in these matches. They're all fucking the same. Ba, ba, ba. Spot, 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 spot. Somebody jumps out the ring. Somebody gets thrown into something. Somebody immediately kicks out of that shit. And then spot, 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 spot. But there's no psychology in the ring. I will hand it to Liv Morgan and Charlotte for at least keeping that and using that psychology in the ring. Oh, and Roxanne went after her arm, not her leg. That's right, because she had trouble figure four. All right. Last thing I think we're going to get into is the Conor versus Crawford drama. I don't know if anybody's heard about this. Came across a couple times. McGregor is doing the podcast reel. He's doing the podcast reel. He's going around talking to Ariel Helwani, all of these other people, because he's promoting the fight with Max Holloway. Amazing. Everybody knows Conor is a great watch. So Conor has talked about him slapping the shit out of either one of those two that won, Justin Gaethje or Ilia Topuria. But what ended up happening was there was a Twitter post from Conor basically calling out Topuria for quitting on the stool. Crawford responded or said something on another tweet that said, hey, this is a guy that said he could beat me. Yeah, okay. Conor came back at him basically telling him to shut his fucking mouth because they offered him tons of money to fight and he didn't want to fucking fight. So the rumor now that Conor's telling everybody is they offered Crawford $200 million for an MMA match and a boxing match. McGregor says you know how to wrestle and you know how to box. That's good enough to be in a fucking MMA match. You show everybody how good you are at wrestling. Crawford says he doesn't want to get kicked. Crawford has also said multiple times that no matter how much money they offer him, he's not coming out of retirement. He has enough money, and when you come out of retirement, you're basically selling your soul. So what are your thoughts on Conor versus Crawford? Who do you think would win?
Well, what kind of fight are we talking about?
MMA.
Boxing match, McGregor's losing.
MMA.
I'll call it a draw. If it's not a draw, I think Crawford loses. So just think McGregor is a walking glass pitcher.
Okay.
Anymore. He's always getting hurt.
Yeah.
Like hell, he broke his own leg the last time he was in an MMA fight. What, didn't he?
Yep, with Poirier.
So
your woman's in my DMs. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Crawford's whooping McGregor in both of them. It's not even close. I am so sick of fucking MMA fighters talking shit about boxers and how they don't come over. I am sorry. I am extremely sorry. Clarissa Shields, yes, it's a woman, has a winning record in MMA. Fighting actual MMA fighters in an MMA promotion. Holly Holmes beat one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. Oh, where did she come from? That's right, boxing. Where is she at now? Boxing. Yes, there's a lot of boxers I don't think that want to get kicked in the legs. I don't think they want to get head kicked. I also don't think the reason why boxers don't come to MMA is because there's no fucking money in it. The same reason why MMA go to boxing. Clarissa Shields just wanted to do it to fucking prove that she could do it. But if you gave Crawford 6 months, 6 to 8 months for this fight to understand how to block leg kicks, I don't think McGregor has a shot. McGregor's been out of the ring for fucking 5 years. Now, is fucking Crawford beating Strickland? Maybe, because Strickland's not a wrestler. Now, if you give a wrestler to Crawford, is he beating him? Probably not. Or a jiu-jitsu specialist? Probably not. And Topuria, do I think Crawford beats Topuria? No, because Crawford can't defend a fucking armbar. But let's not act like fucking McGregor's a fucking wrestler or a jiu-jitsu specialist. He's a stand-up guy. And everybody that takes him down beats him. Remember what Nate Diaz did to him? So I think Crawford beats the shit out of McGregor. Now, I'm not saying Crawford beats everybody. McGregor is not a wrestler or a ground game fighter. He's a brawler with quick twitch, fast muscles. If you take him into the later rounds, you know his stamina is going to get tired. Crawford never gets tired. If he tries to take Crawford down, Crawford has enough wrestling background to understand how to get away. Do I think Crawford shoots on him much? No, because he understands that you're going to get choked out. I also think Crawford is naturally stronger than McGregor, except for the PEDs. So I think if it, now again, Topuria in an MMA fight, he whoops the shit out of Crawford. Gaethje in an MMA fight, he probably whoops the shit out of Crawford. That's a closer fight. But no, I think McGregor gets beat up in both rings. And McGregor hasn't fought in 5 years. There are very few, but I don't think it's as big as MMA people like to think that boxing and MMA are so much, that MMA is so much better than boxing. I think we've drank Kool-Aid. I know that no matter what combat fighter, what most combat fighters say, the two best martial arts for a street fight is boxing and wrestling. Most fights end up on the ground. Most fights start on their feet. So yes, if you get trained MMA fighters, is Mighty Mouse beating Tank Davis? Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Is Henry Cejudo beating Tank Davis? Fuck yes. 100%. But that's because Tank Davis is a stand-up fighter. If you give me a boxer that wrestled in high school / college, is Henry Cejudo beating Keyshawn Davis? I don't know. Is Henry Cejudo beating Shakur Stevenson? I don't know, because I don't know if they're going to get close enough to touch him. So I don't know how that works. What do you think about boxing MMA? Who do you think? Do you think MMA, in an MMA fight, most MMA fighters have a huge, what am I trying to say?
I just don't understand how MMA fighters don't know how to box.
Thank you. Well, I do. I understand.
When there are some fights where a large part of the fight is a stand-up game.
Yeah.
So, like, how do y'all not really know how to box?
I'll let you know. They know how to box, but the difference is they don't understand defensive angles of boxing. Because having to guard your legs changes your foot movement. You see what I'm saying?
Listen, as somebody who improves processes and programs on a daily basis, maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's why watching MMA is just not fun anymore.
So if we're looking,
like there's no incentive, there's nothing for them to want to actually improve their game other than stay the way it's been.
Okay, so if you're looking in your boxing, right, you see my feet. Boxing, they have more of a bladed stance. So they want to make the target smaller. So it's easier to box. So you're more like this, right? You have a lot of your weight on your back foot, so that way you can move with your front, right? And you're more like this. That way you can get in, get out, right? No big deal. With a lot of MMA fighters, they have a more squared stance because it's more like boxers are on the inside, because they have to be able to move these foot quickly. Check. They also have to be able to come down. Their hands are a little lower so they can move. I'm not an MMA fighter, but their hands are a little lower. And with their stance being like this, they don't have the movement backwards as much. Where boxing, with your bladed stance, you can move backwards very easy. But if I'm more like this, it takes me a lot. It's more circling, more switching stances. It takes me a lot longer to move back like this. So I think that becomes the problem. Everybody, you're welcome very much to that demonstration. I think that becomes the more of the problem with boxing and in MMA. And the boxing is because of those angles. You can't move out of the way as quickly. If I had more room, I'd be able to show you how quick you can move from side to side. So I think that becomes an issue with when they get into boxing. That would be lovely. That is true. That is true. Okay, hold on. So Paulie Malignaggi has been getting knocked around by MMA fighters and bare knuckle fighting, right? That makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Roy Jones should have never buddy. Okay, I'll give you the Rico just gave Usyk a run for their money. I will also give you Francis Ngannou gave Tyson Fury a run for his money and might have won that fight. But we also saw what happened when Anthony Joshua took the fight seriously. The problem that you have is when boxers fight, MMA fighters, they don't take the fights as seriously. Tyson Fury has said that. Floyd Mayweather said that with Conor McGregor. You see that happen a lot, 100%. You see that happen all the time. And Rico is a kickboxer. That's a little different. Like, he is an MMA fighter, but if I'm not mistaken, Rico's a kickboxer. Am I wrong? Yeah, he's a Dutch kickboxer. He has a kickboxing record. He doesn't fight many MMA fights.
Roy Jones Jr. was also 18 years older than Anthony Pettis at the time of the fight.
Roy Jones Jr. hasn't been the same since he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver.
So you're talking about a 36-year-old fighting a 54-year-old.
Yeah, come on. Stop. Rico is a kickboxer. And a mixed martial artist. How many mixed martial artist fights does he have? No, I'm not giving you Rico. Rico is a 15-time heavyweight kickboxing championship. He has had mixed, but so kickboxing, yes, it is a mixed martial arts, but it still has boxing in its title. So boxing is still, they just use their elbows and stuff. I will definitely give you the Paul Malignaggi getting knocked around by MMA fighters before. Evander Holyfield is 37 years older than Vitor Belfort. So let's give something, if we're gonna do the comparison, let's give a context and use similar ages. That's like saying Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. So let's go, and there's many of ages you can use. That's why I gave you Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields is a world champion boxer that went over to MMA and fought MMA fighters and won 2-1. Shit, I'll give you, okay, that's fine. What about Ray Mercer? Look up the Ray Mercer MMA fight versus Sylvia. Look up Ray Mercer versus Tim Sylvia. Look up that fight. When they weren't supposed, it was supposed to be a boxing fight, but they wouldn't sanction Sylvia because they had never had a boxing match. They turned it into an MMA fight. Tim Sylvia was on the crutches that they would not kick. Tim Sylvia kicked him. Mercer knocked him out in the first fucking round. That literally took like 30 seconds. So you have Clarissa Shields, you have Ray Mercer, you have, and there's not a lot of boxers, Holly Holmes, and all of your MMA fighters that go to boxing are gimmick fights or exhibitions. McGregor, gimmick fight. Francis Ngannou, gimmick fight versus Tyson Fury. Got knocked the fuck out against Anthony Joshua and has never came back to boxing again. Who else? Anybody else you can name. But you don't. Happy Father's Day. What's up, Mike? Happy Father's Day to you, buddy. So I'm not this. You have your opinion, Alex. I appreciate you watching us. Your opinion is 100% your opinion. I'm just gonna disagree with that and say that you see retired boxers fighting MMA fighters. You don't see MMA fighters in their prime fighting boxers in their prime in boxing. And when you did see that, you saw it twice. It was Francis Ngannou. And he could have beat Tyson Fury, but when Anthony Joshua took him for real, he knocked him out. Let's put it this way. Francis lasted less time than Jake Paul in the ring. But when you see boxers cross over and they take the MMA sport seriously, all of them become high-level fighters. And the one thing nobody can fuck with is their boxing. See, I just don't know about it. It's just weird to me. Shit, even the king of MMA, guess what he got to start in? Boxing. Dana White. Dana White was a boxing promoter. A boxing trainer. Remember, Dana White was going to fight Tito Ortiz in a boxing match. Remember, we have seen Dana White watching boxing matches during UFC events. So I don't know. I think boxing and MMA are both amazing martial arts. I think both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. And I think if one crosses over to the other, it just depends on who it is. But I'm just tired of hearing MMA guys act like boxers can't control themselves in a fucking ring where we've seen it multiple times. Any final thoughts on that? Jeremy?
No.
All right. And then I don't know. Oh, did you hear about the Brandon Sorsby?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that next week, so let's do some research on that.
Okay.
Yeah. I recently saw it this week, was going to put it on this week, but I just haven't done enough research into it to understand all of the stuff, and I just don't want to read shit. You know what I'm saying?
He gambled on games, got caught.
Yeah.
Was suspended.
Yeah.
Did an investigation.
Yeah.
They made him go to treatment.
Yeah.
Then he came back, filed an appeal to play again. They denied it, so now he's entering the supplemental draft.
No. They did not deny it.
To allow him to play again. Well, no, you're right. They didn't deny it, but they told him he's suspended for two games.
No, the judge allowed it. Texas Tech got threats saying other teams were not going to play them. So Texas Tech basically came to Brandon Sorsby and said, you are no longer on the team. So he got it ruled where he could play the season. And other teams said they were not going to play him. And Texas Tech basically said, no matter what happens, you're not going to be on the team. That's why he's entering the supplemental draft. It's not because he got suspended.
Other teams are so weird. You don't want to play somebody because they gambled.
Yeah, and they don't want to play him because they said they were setting a precedent.
Don't let them other teams find out what happens when they go to the NFL and who a lot of the sponsors in the NFL are.
Yeah, but I think it's because they don't want to set the precedent.
Don't let the other teams find out who the sponsors are. We don't want to know. We don't want them to know the NFL is backed by gambling houses and fucking DraftKings and fucking.
What do you exactly? So.
And the Raiders play in Las Vegas. So you can walk across the street and just hop into a fucking casino.
You could hop into a casino in almost any place now in any state. It's legal in like 39 states.
Don't hold on. Don't say it too loud. We don't want the other teams to find out.
But yeah, so he was suspended. But no, he was going to play. Texas Tech was going to let him play. And then they got backlash. So that's why I said we got to research more into it. Because there's a lot of fucking drama. And then the supplemental draft, there are teams that are actually going to take him. So I want to talk about that next week after he gets drafted. Dig in to see exactly what happened, what teams are the teams that were saying, no, we're not going to fucking play against him. All this, and why was the reasoning why? Or is it just because it's a 26-year-old? Have a fuck off. College football, college sports have been ruined. I always said you should play the players. And I was wrong. I was fucking wrong. College sports is fucking ruined. Fuck everybody. Everybody have a happy Father's Day. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you let us know what you thought of the podcast in the comments. Look out for the shorts that we will be having come out in a couple days. See, the problem is I download them and make them, and then I forget to do them. So like last week's shorts came out after the fight. Right? Like a couple days after the fight, which ended up working out because everybody was viewing the Ilia Topuria Justin Gaethje fight. So we had more fucking comments on that one short than we've had in forever. And a lot of it was talking shit like this didn't age well. Like, no shit, it didn't. So everybody have a happy Father's Day. Everybody make sure you guys go and check out Jeremy's book. Make sure you guys go and check out his implementation of processes going across that he is doing on LinkedIn. And it's really, really good. And then I don't know. So without further ado, Jeremy, whenever you're ready, you can take us out.
Put me in, coach.
Peace, everybody. Happy Father's Day.